time it is, man. Hey, they saying people's just saying that it's the end times. They seeing apocalyptic indicators that that the end is near. Okay, in Venezuela, a couple days. I don't know if it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Uh, a couple of days after the earthquake, major earthquake in Venezuela, the sky turned red, blood red. You see, and some people's is looking to biblical verses, man, that prophesizes that these would be the signs you see, Black Power. These would be the signs you see in the end time. And so that shit red as hell. It's red as hell. Now, I don't know, because a lot of people speak about the sky turning red after a major earthquake. I don't know if you say it's hard, it might be. But at the same time, you got to understand when you talking science, hard or whatever, it's already natural energies on the earth that they trying to duplicate. You know what I'm saying? And so, you got to understand also that when you open up that earth, when you open up that earth, there's certain elements that come up. And I don't know if that, when that earth open up, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's volcanic. You know what I'm saying? Cause there's a lot of sulfur, and you talking about that shit and heated up, and you got all these different elements that's down in that earth. And if it's volcanic, meaning it's steam, it's hot, that shit melting, and it come up into the atmosphere, that it can turn the sky different colors. I believe that. Even when you look at that one area up there near the North Pole over there, I think you can see it, Aurora Boreas or something like that, where you see the different colors and shit in the sky and shit. It'd be red, it'd be blue, it'd be yellow, it'd be all different kind of goddamn colors. But I know because if you read, I think it's Joel. I don't know if it's Joel, the book of Joel, or I don't know which book that is. But it talks about I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the great awesome day of the Lord comes. Now, I'm not the one to get religious like that. But what I know is people take occurrences that already naturally a part of the universe, and then they mystify it, and it becomes allegory, it becomes esoterical stories. You understand what I'm saying? So they taking something that's already a cosmic, a cosmic reality, and they mystify it. And so, a lot of times, when there's an earthquake, it get dark. It get dark. They speak about when Jesus was nailed to a cross and shit, and he died. It was an earthquake, and the motherfucking sky went black and shit, and all of that. And so, but we know that that Jesus is the S-U-N. And once you come up out of the anthropomorphic mythology and understand the astrotheology, the real reality of it, then you can understand what it is. But I know a lot of motherfuckers down there scared as hell. I know that. I don't give a fuck. It's still gonna be hard for a motherfucker to accept that reality. When you look up and your goddamn sky is red, motherfuckers gonna say, well, what the fuck is this? We just had a major fucking earthquake and then the sky turned red. I have to believe that some elements was released into the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I would believe that something was released into the atmosphere, and at that point in time, it produced this, because the sun got to be hitting on it. Whatever it is that's in the atmosphere, when that UV hit it, it turned it red. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is. And so, but I know a lot of people, because I mean, you got floods. Say the aliens coming next. Don't they, motherfucker, they might show up. Shit, you don't know. Motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? They might show up. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, I hope they take these goddamn Neanderthals with them. Load their ass up and goddamn it, get ghosts. Get these motherfuckers and take some of these ignorant ass niggas too. Yeah. Yeah. Extra dimension. It don't make no difference. Get their ass up out of here. Take them into another dimension. But a lot of times it has something to do with the elements. That's why you got to master the elements, the avatar. You feel me? Fire, earth, air, water. You got to master that. That's the avatar. And once you master that, then you have a proper understanding. Everybody else gonna goddamn be spooked. But that is crazy because you got the flood over there in Ghana. You got the flood over there in Ghana, and they got caught, unprepared. They probably never thought it was gonna come like that. Some people saying it happened 8 years back. I believe I remember that. You said why are so many aliens white? Then they only interact with white people. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might be. Hey, listen here. Hey, it might be some truth. I don't rule shit out. I keep it on the table. I do my research. I have my my belief based on the things I think I know. But I always keep room because I didn't see weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit that come out of bounds from to the average man and woman thinking. You know what I'm saying? And if you put restraints on your mind, now I ain't saying be no kook. You can't be no fucking kook. You can't have you got to have some boundary, but it's not a fixed boundary. You know what I'm saying? It keep you from being kooky, but it also give you room enough to accept some shit that might come out of bounds that you not expecting, that this could be the reality. Now, you know what I'm saying? So you have to leave room for, possibilities. Well, the Anunnaki, see, I already broke that down. Even when you talk about the Anunnaki, that whole word, you know, that whole word Anunnaki, that's black. That's, you know what I'm saying? Because even when you talk about the knock, when you talk about knock, that's serpent. You see the Anu, or when you talk about on, or you talk about on. See, the A and the O is interchangeable. Sometimes even the I, the vowels be. So you dealing with the sun. Now, if you go in the Bible and you talk about On, the city of On, that was Heliopolis. Heliopolis is the city of the sun. So when you talk about An or Anu in the Kemetic, the Anu were the first peoples that populated Egypt. Now that one Egyptologist found that tile, or what he called Terranetta, and it was a symbol of a toit, and he had a staff, And he was, he was one of the An. They call him Anu, you see. And they was worshipers of Set, worshipers of the god Set. So when you talk about An, you talking about the sun. And when you talk about Anu, you talking about the earliest peoples that populated Kemet in Ethiopia. And then when you talk about Nak, you talking about the serpent. You can go look it up. In Thailand, they got what they call the fire Nak. But Nak is another term for Naga, serpent. You see what I'm saying? So they came down, they had that serpent on that pineal. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Anunnaki. You see, that's the Anunnaki. You know, the pharaonic, the original peoples of pharaonic Egypt. That's what it is. You know, so they can't get away from that. Now, whatever else they talking about, and yes, they talk about our descent, to the planet, but that's also Osiris. That's also Isis, the constellation of Orion. And when it's just like when the cycles line up, it's like a lock. You see, when you put that key in there or you put that combination in, you might have three numbers you have to line, 3 or 4 numbers you got to line up. And when you line them up, it opens up. You see what I'm saying? So when the cycles get in alignment, you see, that's the age of Osiris, that's the age of Isis, and they says the netters descend down to the planet, but that's the avatar too, because what does avatar mean? It means descent, where and it also deals with a consciousness. When the people have went astray to the point where the divine had to descend down and send a guide, to lead the people back to truth and righteousness. You see what I'm saying? Also that, so a lot of that is esoterical. Alien is a term that motherfuckers use, but, we got more divine, divine words for that, and not say, and because the elements that's out there in the cosmos is in the body. The elements in the earth is in the body. You feel me? So we are the cosmos made flesh. So they say we descended down. All the melanin, the cosmic melanin, the carbon, and the oxygen, the hydrogen, all of that is in us. Salt, whatever, that's in us. You feel me? Water, all of that. Everything it took to create the universe is in us. So we the cosmos made flesh. Yeah, we the Anunnaki. Yeah, that's us. But anyway, family, I appreciate. I'll bring y'all some science. Y'all already know the general. You know what? I do many things. And all you had to do is throw me an alley-oop. You see how you put that shit in chamber, just start opening up. You feel what I'm saying? General, get to dropping that science. You feel me? Anyway, I'll see y'all in a minute. Click that link down, Patreon. Join the general. You feel me? That generalseti one stop on Etsy. Get over there, get to work. Classic lectures, hard copy, HD, DVD. Get it, family. I'll see y'all in a minute. Boom, Black Power.